They're getting some breaking news in the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
3 security cameras. Not 1. 3. And every single one was destroyed before anything else happened inside that house. That detail alone separates this from a burglary gone wrong, from a random act, from anything improvised. You don't walk up to a stranger's home in the middle of the night and know exactly where 3 cameras are mounted unless you've been there before. Unless someone told you. Unless you planned this. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old. She can barely walk the length of a parking lot without stopping. And someone decided, specifically, deliberately, that she was the target. Not her valuables. Not her car. Her. Let me walk you through what investigators actually know, because what's been confirmed privately goes well beyond anything said at a press conference. The back door of the home was discovered wide open. Not cracked. Wide open. And it was the back door, not the front. Now think about the geography here for a moment. This neighborhood sits right at the edge of the desert foothills. Properties run between 1 and 4 acres each. No street lights. No ambient glow from nearby commercial areas. Behind the homes, it isn't a road or an alley. It's raw desert. Cactus. Brush. Terrain that is difficult to move through in daylight, nearly impossible at 2 in the morning. So if that back door was the exit point, whoever used it either had a vehicle waiting close by or knew the land well enough to navigate it in complete darkness while managing an 84-year-old woman who needs help just to walk across a room. And there was blood. Blood confirmed inside the house. Blood visible at the front door, still red, still uncleaned, sitting on the front stoop when a journalist approached the house the following day. The crime scene had already been processed and released back to the family. The tape was down. Law enforcement had packed up and left. And the blood was just there, on the mat, in front of a door where a camera used to be mounted. That's 2 locations. Front and back. Blood near the entry, open door at the rear. That sequence tells a story about movement through the house. An encounter near the front. An exit through the back. Something happening in the space between those 2 points that we don't have full visibility into yet. Now here's where this gets even more specific, and this is information that did not come from a press conference. Nancy Guthrie had a pacemaker. That pacemaker connected via Bluetooth to her Apple Watch and her cell phone, both of which were left inside the home. Bluetooth has a limited range, typically around 30 feet, depending on walls and interference. At approximately 2 in the morning, the pacemaker lost connection to those devices. Not because the pacemaker failed. Not because she passed away. Because the person wearing it was physically carried or walked beyond the range of the devices it was paired with. That disconnection is a timestamp. Investigators treat it as the moment Nancy left the house. 2 a.m. The cameras were already gone by then. The back door was already open. Someone had already been inside long enough to locate and destroy the surveillance equipment, find her, and begin moving her out. The 3 cameras were Nest cameras, not Ring cameras as some outlets initially reported. And they weren't removed or covered or switched off. They were physically smashed. That takes tools, or at minimum deliberate force. And it means whoever arrived that night brought the intent to destroy surveillance infrastructure before doing anything else. That was step 1 of the plan. That level of premeditation, knowing the camera brand, knowing the camera positions, arriving prepared, points strongly towards someone with prior access to the property. Not necessarily someone who lived there. But someone who had been inside. Someone who had walked those rooms, noted those mounting points, and filed that information away. Now. The vehicle. The car belonging to Annie Guthrie, Nancy's daughter and Savannah Guthrie's sister, has been towed and placed into evidence. Annie was the last confirmed person to see Nancy alive. She dropped her mother off at home around 9:45 on Saturday night. Her husband was with her. That was the last documented contact before Nancy was reported missing Sunday morning when she failed to appear at church. Impounding a vehicle is not a courtesy. It is not routine. It is not something investigators do to cover their bases. It requires legal authority and it draws immediate attention. The decision to tow Annie's car carries weight. It means there is something specific they believe that vehicle may tell them. Trace evidence. Fibers. Soil. Mileage. Something that does not match the account of where that car has been. Investigators always start with the inner circle. The people closest to the victim are examined first. That is standard practice, not accusation. Families of missing persons have been under scrutiny before and cleared entirely. The disappearance of Elizabeth Smart sent investigators toward her father before the truth pointed somewhere else entirely. But there is a difference between routine examination and the physical seizure of evidence under legal authority. A voluntary interview is one thing. Towing a car is a different category of investigative action. And a source with direct knowledge of this investigation has confirmed that Annie's husband, Thomas, was among those being examined closely in the early phase of the case. The motive question is one investigators return to constantly with cases like this. Who benefits from an 84-year-old woman disappearing? Not a burglar. Not someone looking for electronics or cash. Taking an elderly woman with limited mobility, who requires daily medication to survive, who cannot move quickly or quietly on her own, creates enormous logistical problems for whoever took her. That kind of burden is only worth carrying if the target matters in a way that goes beyond opportunism. Insurance. Inheritance. Debts. Financial arrangements that only resolve if a specific person is gone. Her medication was left at the home. The sheriff confirmed at the press conference that going without it for more than 24 hours creates a life-threatening situation. That clock started the moment she was taken. The Nest Cloud servers may still hold partial footage. The cameras transmitted data before they were destroyed. If the connection to the cloud was live when the smashing occurred, there may be frames, even seconds, showing the approach. Law enforcement submitted a request to Nest for that data. As of the most recent confirmed update, the response was still pending, 72 hours into the investigation. The sheriff expressed public frustration at the delay. Geofencing data is being analyzed. Cell phone pings from devices in the area during the 2-hour window surrounding the abduction are being cross-referenced. In a neighborhood this spread out, this dark, this removed from normal pedestrian traffic, a device that doesn't belong there becomes visible in that data even if the person carrying it was never seen. Nancy Guthrie has been missing since the early hours of Sunday morning. Her cameras were destroyed. Her door was left open. Her blood was found in 2 places. Her pacemaker went silent at 2 a.m. And her daughter's car is sitting in an evidence lot while investigators work outward from the center of this family, looking for the thread that unravels everything. If you have any information, contact the FBI tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI, or the Pima County Sheriff's Department at 520-351-4900. The reward in this case has surpassed $1.2 million. This investigation is active. And every piece of confirmed information changes the picture.